Brains. Roar! Did I scare you guys? Alright, today we're going to be talking about Return of the Living Dead. The Brain Eaters. I added the Brain Eaters, but we're talking about Return of the Living Dead. This, in a way, is an indirect sequel to Night of the Living Dead. I only say that because of the movie. They did make a reference to the Night of the Living Dead. Supposedly, the Night of the Living Dead was a movie based upon true events, according to this movie, but we know that's false, so I'm going to say this is an unofficial sequel to the Night of the Living Dead. Before we really get into this movie, I would like to say that I really was impressed with the animatronics of the half zombie woman. If you haven't seen it, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. The zombie that's like very old and she's cut in half. They tie her down to a table. Well, she didn't get cut in half, but she's in half. She's tied down to the table. Like the animation that they did with her was very well done. Like the robotics, you know, was really well done. I was very impressed with that effect that they had. And I really do enjoy like the 1980s and 90s special effects and stuff like they do that more than I do today. Because today it's all kind of like CGI-ish. But back then, you know, they really had to get creative and use like puppets and stuff like that to do what they did, especially with this zombie. I think it might have been robotic. I'm not really sure. There is a short documentary on IMDb about it, but I'm really impressed at how they was able to get it to move and realistic, and how realistic it was. And the reason why I do enjoy the 80s and 90s effects like that is because they do, like when they do stuff like they did with this zombie, they really have like, it feels like they have texture and they're like really 3D-ish. And so you feel like you really can feel them. While a lot of today's special effects, because they're so CGI-ish, they really do look like they're two-dimensional. And like they're just flat and kind of too new and smooth. While back then, you know, when they did stuff, it really looked like it's aged and like worn and like you could actually be alive. So I really did enjoy watching that, how they did that robot, or not the robot, the zombie, half zombie. I'm not really sure if it is a robot or if it is done by puppeteers. I'm pretty sure it's like robotic, because the guy was talking about how he wasn't able to finish it in time and it was just rushed. And for something that was rushed and not completely done, I mean, it was a fantastic job that they did with it. So I just wanted to get that out in front, how much I did enjoy that scene and the creativity they used, that they had to make that come to life. But yeah, so let's get into the Return of the Living Dead. The Return of the Night of the Living Dead. Hopefully, something like that. Anyways, the first time I saw this, for those who don't know, when I talk to these retro reviews, it's something I saw a long time ago. And I give my impression of what it was back then. And then I recently watched it, and if I still like it better now, or hate it now, or whatever, like if my opinion of the movie changed. So the first time I watched this, I think it came out in 85, which meant probably came out in a VHS on like 86 or 87. So I was roughly 8 to 9 years old when I first watched this, and it scared the living bejesus out of me. And I was so frightened. I was watching it with my father, and he wasn't scared at all. And the only thing I really remembered about this movie from my childhood was they kept on saying brains, you know, and the part where you know, they just get done killing all the cops, one of the zombies get on there and they're like, send more cops, you know, so they get more brains. And then the big explosion at the end. Those were like they remembered. And for some reason, I thought as a kid it took place in Louisville, Kentucky. And watching it this time, I don't remember if it does give a place where it took, if it does give a location where it took place. But for some reason, as a kid, I thought it was in Louisville, Kentucky. And it was kind of significant for me because when we would go to Tennessee, we went through Louisville, Kentucky. Because I'm from the North. I'm a Yankee, Midwestern type person. But we had to go through Louisville to get to Tennessee. So that's what really, those are the three things that struck out to me. So watching this time, you know, What I didn't remember was the dance by the redheaded girl. I'm not going to get too graphic with it, but I did not remember that whatsoever. So when I saw that, I was kind of surprised with that scene. It just really shocked me. And I forgot that these kids were like some punk rocker people. So, and I don't know. Since I thought I was in Louisville, Kentucky, it kind of surprised me that you had a guy with like an earring that went from his ear to his mouth, I think. And he had all these piercings, and they look like, punk rockers, really, what you would see. So I was really kind of surprised. So if this did take place in Louisville, Kentucky, something I wouldn't really imagine would be that kind of crowd there. But yeah, so you have like these punk rockers, and then you have like this sweet girl, like a girl from next door, and those are her friends, which kind of made her look kind of out of place, because you got these, punk rocker looking people, and she's just like your girl next door. And then you got like a nerdy looking guy hanging out with them too. So it's an interesting friendship crowd there that's going on. But anyways, if you don't know what the movie is about, I guess I could get into that. It's basically about this company that takes care of dead bodies, and they kind of ship them out to research facilities. And there's a barrel that has like has a zombie in it that was from the original Outbreak, the Night of the Living Dead. That's where the documentary comes in. Anyways, the barrel kind of leaks some gas out, and it turns the two workers there into zombies, and it kind of gets out into the atmosphere, and it rains, and it turns all these rains onto this graveyard, and then all these zombies come up out of the grave. And that's basically what it's about. Kind of get to the way of, the government hiding secrets and stuff. The government putting that zombie outbreak that happened in the 60s undercover and trying to hide the evidence, and this evidence got out. And at the end, we see the government once again trying to cover their tracks in a very dramatic way, by the way. I don't want to give the ending, but it's very last resort kind of way. I don't know how they plan on covering, that solution they came up with. And I'm also surprised on IMDb, like this show has like a 7-point something rating, which makes it like better than like a lot of good movies. So I was kind of surprised to get that high of a rating. While I enjoyed it, because I like zombie movies. I am a zombie movie guy. If there's a zombie movie on, I'll try to watch it. It's like one of the few horror things I'll watch are zombie movies. I don't really into scary stuff. I got my reason for that. Don't want to go into that traumatic childhood stuff. Anyways, but I was surprised at the high rating. Well, I did enjoy it. I don't think it was like that good. It's supposed to be like a comedy horror, and yeah, it is kind of comedy horror. The zombies are a lot smarter than when I was a kid. I didn't really remember them being this smart, but in the show they're very smart. They know how to talk. They actually can carry sentences. They know how to figure out how to open doors or get around obstacles that are in their way. So these zombies are intelligent. When I first saw the remake of Dawn of the Dead, it's like everybody's talking about how they're get running zombies. And this movie, I'm pretty sure these zombies are running. So it's not like that was the first time. For me, I remember that being like the first time seeing zombies be able to run and sprint. And then watching this, it's like, oh, I guess it has been done before. Because when you watch those George Romero zombie movies, they're always slow, moving zombies. Which is kind of scary, it's something that's always constantly coming after you. But, being able to run is scary too. So, they do got like these intelligent zombies coming after them. I like the makeup they did. Made it a little realistic. You could kind of tell, they're wearing makeup. They always put that, how do you describe it? Like that pasty green type, teal type makeup on them to make them look like they're dead, stuff. I did like the commentary on in the beginning of the movie. I'm all over the place, I'm sorry, but I did like the commentary in the beginning of the movie, where they're standing in front of one of those eye exams, But I was more interested in reading the Eigensim because it starts with a B instead of that big E. It has that big B, and you start reading it, and it says, like, Bert is a slave driver. That's as far as I could read, and the writing got too small for me, so I don't know what else it would say. But, you know, Bert turned out to be a pretty cool guy. I mean, you know, like, maybe as a boss, he might be a slave driver, but he didn't seem too bad as a guy, really, you know. He was pretty cool, actually. And, you know, the characters, they're kind of enjoyable. None of them really stick out. Like, my favorite one was the first one to die, though. Like, the guy with the piercing. Because he's like this punk rocker dude. You think he's going to be all dumb and stuff. But he's, like, actually kind of smart. And he said, you know, this isn't, when he talking about his own fashion, it's like, this isn't a fad, you know. This is a lifestyle, you know. So he's really into what he's doing. But he came up with, you know, some intelligent stuff came out of his mouth, you know. So don't judge a book from the cover type of stuff. So I really enjoyed him. His character, I did like the girl next door. She's kind of sweet and stuff. She's like all hung over her boyfriend. You could tell she really cared for him and stuff like that. And yeah, the other characters kind of stuck out. I would say, you know, if you read IMDb, there's one character named, actress named Jewel. I think it's under Jewel. If you look her up, I'm pretty sure she wrote her own biography, and it doesn't sound like she had a very fun acting career whatsoever. She talked about because it talks about all the horrors that she had as an actress, and and the word "I" came up a couple of times in the description, so I think that's a giveaway that she probably wrote her own little bio in IMDb. Anyways, if you like zombie movies, this might be one for you. Recommend it. If you don't like zombie movies, I wouldn't recommend it. Recommend with caution on that one. But if you like zombie movies, I'll recommend it. It's a great little 80s zombie movie. I don't know if it deserved like a 7 on IMDb. I probably would have given it more like a 5, 6. The acting is all right. I did really enjoy, like I said, I really enjoyed the effects of the half zombie lady they had there, like her movements and stuff. Really liked it. I liked that part. Was really impressed with how lifelike it was. So yeah, I'll give this a recommend with caution. This is something that's on TV. I probably would turn it on and watch it. I mean, I did enjoy it. Wasn't scared this time. It traumatized me as a kid. Watched it. I was like, man, why did I find this scary as a kid? So, you know, things you find scary as a kid once you grow up, you know. So I was a little nervous. I will say I was a little nervous when I began watching it, thinking I might be terrified, but I made it. Didn't get scared one bit. Kind of laughed, and you know, it was enjoyable watching it once again. This does have good effects. I mentioned the half zombie lady. There is like the original zombie. That costume looked very good as well. He really did look like he was kind of oily and stuff. I was impressed with that as well. And probably nobody won't be here for like 13 minutes, but if you are, thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.